When I used to think of conspiracy theories, I thought of some nonsense spewed by a bizarre old man on the side of the road. I was surprised to learn later on through my research as one of the top sociologists in the country that conspiracy theories are believed by more than 50% of our country. More than 50%. What's even more surprising is that conspiracy theories are based on no facts whatsoever. They're based on justifications, emotions, gut feelings, no logic whatsoever. And that's a very scary trend, especially when you consider how it is nearly impossible to prove to an individual who believes in conspiracy theory that his beliefs are false. An example I will give you of this is in the form of Obama and his missing birth certificate. In the late 2000s, Obama refused to bring forth his birth certificate, and it led many people to believe that he must have been born outside of our country. After all, why would he hide it? Why would he not bring forth his birth certificate? Later on, when a Hawaiian hospital published his birth certificate, you would think that all these people would retract what they had said before. After all, there's now valid evidence, legitimate proof that they were wrong, that Obama truly was born in America. He was an American citizen. However, this wasn't enough for conspiracy theorists. Instead, they took the Hawaiian hospital in on the conspiracy. They said they must be in on it. They must be trying to make Obama a citizen when he isn't. We aren't wrong. They're the ones in on the conspiracy. And that's this disturbing trend of conspiracy theories that I want to point out. That no matter how much evidence is thrown at them, they will refuse to believe that they're wrong. And that's why I feel it is my duty to prove to you all, to show to you all, how to identify a conspiracy theory before you start to believe in one. And here is my 3-step method to do so. First, I will teach you how a conspiracy theory forms, how it is made. Second, I will teach you how conspiracy theory spreads throughout the general population. And finally, I will teach you how a conspiracy theory is supported by the various believers of the theory, in the hopes that you will now be able to identify a conspiracy theory before falling for it. Firstly, I will teach you how conspiracy theory is created, and I will do so through an example. In the late 1990s, a conspiracy theory was formed that vaccinations cause autism. It all stemmed from one coincidence, and this is how conspiracy theories are formed. This one coincidence was a published paper that said perhaps autism is formed as a result of vaccinations. This one article was all a conspiracy theory needed, as it set the playing field, as it set the groundwork for this theory to form. After all, parents had been emotional about this topic for years. They had been searching for someone, some group, something to blame, and they had it now with vaccinations. They could blame their doctors for suggesting their child get vaccinations. They could blame the school board for requiring their child receive vaccinations to go to school, and they could blame the government because it was in on all of it, obviously, as it controlled the school board, it controlled the doctors, and that's the issue. You have someone to blame, and you have an emotional group of people, parents, who desperately wanted someone to blame, and then in addition you had small amounts of what could be considered to be facts, something to believe in, some emotional attachment, someone to blame, anger, happiness, blame. That's all that's needed to form a conspiracy theory. And let's not get technical here. A conspiracy theory isn't really a theory. It's just a culmination of false facts and then maybe one valid occurrence. When in reality, a theory should be an explanation that's confirmed by numerous occurrences. When in reality, conspiracy theories are generally, at most, based on one. Next, on how conspiracy theories grow popular throughout a population. Generally, there are a group of coincidences that people start to notice that they use to justify this grandiose plot. For example, how was the numbers of autism increasing so steadily while at the same time vaccinations were growing more and more popular? In addition, was autism involving this thousands and thousands of people? How is this physically possible? In addition, how is it possible that at the same time that their childs were receiving their vaccinations, they were also being diagnosed with autism? It's impossible. It can't possibly be actually like coincidences. It has to be part of this grandiose plot. In reality, it is nothing but coincidences. The number of autistic individuals being diagnosed is only a result of the fact that autism is now more broadly defined. It encompasses more disease and more individuals. In addition, autism is diagnosed at a time when people are giving their children vaccinations because of the fact that vaccinations are given at the exact moment, at a nearby time, when autism starts to present its symptoms. It is not like a grandiose plot, a plan by vaccination grower makers, by government individuals. It's just coincidence. Coincidences that can be proven wrong when looking at actual logic, actual facts. Now, in addition to these coincidences that start to pile up, what's a bigger issue is the news sources, the tabloids, the celebrities that start to bring forth their ideas. They don't have any knowledge on the topics. They don't have any knowledge on autism. Yet they say, we understand, we know that autism must be caused by vaccinations. How can they know this? They're not doctors, they're not scientists, yet they seemingly claim to have the knowledge to understand. In the case of autism, Jenny McCarthy, the only connection she has to autism is that her child has it. But somehow she knew why her child had autism, and she knew how to help her child with autism. She did not listen to doctors, she did not listen to anyone. Rather, she just used her vast influence on the American public to say, my child had autism because of the vaccinations he received. And the manner in which I want to cure my child is to stop giving him vaccinations. This was hugely detrimental to society, and it was all popularized just by coincidences, news sources, and a celebrity who knows nothing. Now, finally, how conspiracy theories like this are supported. They're supported generally by individuals who say things like, it can't be a coincidence that, it must be a huge government conspiracy that, it must be a plot by this secret group of individuals. Jet fuel can't possibly melt steel beams. All things like this are huge warning signs that you are being lured into a conspiracy theory. After all these things aren't valid explanations. They aren't logical, they don't make sense. They're not based on facts. They're just a group of coincidences, a group of like what many may consider scientific fact, when in reality, they aren't true at all. It's just the conspiracy theory working on these individuals, making them believe that what they thought was true is just completely false. In addition, it is the small amounts of evidence that allow these conspiracy theorists to believe what they believe. It's that they say, hey, just because this is true, everything else must be true as well. Just because that one published study that was later on proven to be completely false, just because that one published study was at one point in time believed to be true, every vaccination must cause autism. It's the only logical explanation for these people, even though it's not based in logic at all. And finally, I want you to take everything I said to you today. Understand how conspiracy theories are formed, understand how they're supported, understand how they become popular throughout the general population. Take all of that and use it to identify a conspiracy theory before you understand one, and live a life of logic and live a life full of relaxation and happiness. That is because people who believe in conspiracy theory are far more likely to be stressed and suffer from anxiety disorders. That's because they believe that the whole world is a conspiracy, that there's some giant secret plot by the government to control you, to control the world around you, when in reality, the world is controlled by logic. Understanding that is the first step to living a life of happiness, to being safe, to not being that bizarre man on the side of the road. Understand that, listen to doctors, get your vaccinations, listen to intellectual news sources, and you are one step on your way to living a relaxing and happy life. Thank you.